Why don't you wear them more often? We're going to thank a bunch of you who do not have to stand. Gary Boyd, Rich Bellingham, Diener Brands, Galen Groth, Jerry Handy, Cindy Heater, Jim Juza, Carol Kathman, David Kaus, Jeanette Meyer, special thanks, Nancy Newgard, Chris and Sandy Nielsen, Dave Symington, and Sue Watkins. And then we'd like these persons to stand, and let's hear it for them. Kent and Lynette Kilpatrick. Barb Lancaster, will you stand? Thank you for all you've done. Special thanks to Don Hayden for the DVD and the photos. Margaret Cello for the beautiful cake. Thank you for helping whenever we needed you. Oh, you helped decorate the float. Glad somebody did. Nancy and Heidi, thank you for the memorabilia table. And Rich has a quick word regarding Toby Shine.
Well, we also want to give a big hand to Toby Shine. For those of you who made it up there today, that at some point Toby figures out a way to open that up to the public and let everybody see it, because it is an amazing thing that he has put together up there at the lake. We have some of our teachers back in '63 that we invited tonight. I have a couple to read to you. This is from Joe Graff. It says, "Thank you for the invitation to attend your reunion. However, I won't be able to make it. The class of 1963 was the first group of students that I taught after receiving my master's degree from UNI. I hope you all have a very enjoyable evening." So we trained Joe Graff, okay? From Glenn Brandt, I received your invitation to the anniversary celebration. Wish I could make it, but right now I'm having a few minor health issues and we'll be having some surgery about that time. It's hard to believe it's 50 years, but time flies. Enjoy your celebration. That's from Glenn Brandsman. Holly Boat had indicated he was going to be here tonight, but I don't think he made it because I haven't seen him yet. But Dave Simonson, do you know, do we have any other guests that did make it?
Yes, we know one for sure. Mr. Mulder. A lot of you probably don't know Mr. Mulder, but he was the voc teacher for the 4 years that we were freshmen through seniors. And he was out at the field house with the shop guys and those. And Joe Graff was also out there teaching math. So they had their own, and Mr. Wendell, they all had their own little community out there. So we thank you, Mr. Mulder, for coming.
Terry Short, have you seen, are there any other teachers that you've seen that showed up tonight?
Well, thank you, Rich. Yes, I have. We have a gentleman with us that I drove nuts for 4 years. There's several of us in here that join me in doing that, and that is Coach Quentin. Coach is a very special person in my book. After 38 years of my career, I got a special note. And guess who it's from? Coach Wentman sent me a note. I thought that was pretty special. Thanks, Coach.
I got a big hand for Mr. Mulder and Bill Lennon for being here tonight and giving us our 50th last reunion. I have a letter that I want to read. This is from Bruce Adams. think most of you know Bruce. He was Steve Adams' brother. And we also want to make note of Warren Golla, Bill Golla's son, who was with us last night, and want to thank Warren for coming. It was great for all of us to meet Warren and see him, and I think it was really great for him to see all of the classmates that were friends of his dad's. From Bruce, it says, "Dear class of 1963 and dear Barbara, thank you for my brother Stephen's class reunion. My schedule just won't permit me to attend. I do have many fond memories of Steve's friends, and I would love to hug every one of them. I'm sure that my eyes would be pouring tears the entire time if I was there. A couple of more years, Steve's military records are going to be declassified, and I hope that we learn more about his last final mission in Southeast Asia. Please give my regards to Rich Fellingham, Dave Simonton, Ron Woods, John Heater, and everyone who returns. I would just love to be there. Have fun, and thank you for remembering my brother Steve, my hero. Love, Bruce." At this time, we want to remember, believe it or not, 29 of our classmates who we've lost since in these 50 years. Starting out, 1966, Steve Adams.
1968, Don Beckwith.
1982, Bill Golla.
1985, Rod Frazee.
1986, Dale Norton.
1987, Paul Letcher.
1988, Dick Canis.
1993, Linda Frick Bray and Larry Shadow.
1994, Judy Johnson Jansel.
1997, Christy Christopherson, Mark Warner.
1998, Willis Bill Clover.
1999, Bill Long.
In the year 2000, Dave Stricker.
2002, Terry Rodenberg.
In 2003, Jim Durst, Bob Sassman, and Alice Stevenson Van Borden.
2006, Janine Berge Sims and Ron Zofka.
2007, Cliff Cabrick.
2008, Clem Clausen and Kent Smith.
In 2009, Jolene Halstead Wiley, Connie Clausen Thompson, and Jerry Wolford.
In 2010, Vicki Mutzel Beach, Judy Halcock Adams.
29 of our classmates have gone on. Please join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of those 29. Thank you. We'd also like to have everybody who served in the military. Please stand up. We want to thank you for your service. Everybody who served in the military. Well, just in case that you weren't feeling old enough right now, this might change things a little bit. Beloit College in Wisconsin puts together a list to try and give faculty a sense of the mindset of the year's incoming freshman students. The people who are starting college this fall across the nation were born in 1995. They are too young to remember the space shuttle blowing up. Their lifetime has always included AIDS. Bottle caps have always been screw-off and plastic. They have always had a cell phone. They have always had cable TV or satellite TV. They cannot fathom not having a remote control. Jay Leno has always been on The Tonight Show. Popcorn has always been cooked in a microwave. They can't imagine what hard contact lenses are. They don't know who Mort was or where he was from. They never heard "Where's the Beef" or "I'd walk a mile for a camel." They don't know who Jacques they are. and they don't care for that bill. And they don't have a clue how to use a typewriter. Those are your incoming freshmen in college this year, born in 1995. There were 4 old retired guys, and I think most of us fall into that category now, who were walking down the street in Mesa, Arizona, and they went beside a bar and it said, "The Old Timers Bar, all drinks are 10 cents. They said, how's this possible? So they go in the bar, and bartender says, "What'll it be, gentlemen?" And they all say, "Well, we'd like to have a martini." So he serves up 4 martinis, and he said, "That'll be 10 cents each, please, 40 cents. They kind of shook their head, and they had another martini. He said, "That'll be another 40 cents. And they said, "How do you do this? How can you afford to do this?" He said, "Well," he said, "I'll tell you what happened." He said, I used to live in Boston, and he said, "I won the lottery. And I decided when I won the lottery that I was going to come out here to Phoenix, and I was going to open a bar, and I was just going to sell old guys drink for a dime." And they said, "Well, that's wonderful." And he said, they looked up at the end of the bar, and there were 7 guys just standing there without any drinks. And they said, "Well, what's with those guys?" Well, he said, those are 7 retired farmers from Iowa. They're waiting for happy hours for their prices back. You're retired there, guys. Now this is just a very short, quick quiz we're going to give you. It's called the Older Than Dirt Quiz. So just stop and think about this one, and we'll see how you come out at the end. I want you to just as I read through this list. There's 25 items. I'll read it through real quick. If you remember these items, you get a point for that. If you don't, if you just heard about them, then that doesn't count. Okay. All right. Things that you remember: blackjack chewing gum, wax Coke-shaped bottles with colored sugar water, candy cigarettes, soda pop machines that dispense glass bottles, coffee shops or diners with table-side jukeboxes, home milk delivery in glass bottles, party lines on the telephone, newsreels before the movie, PF flyers, bushwhacks. I don't need it anymore. TV test patterns that come on at night after the last show is over and they're on until the next morning when you get up and pea shooters, Howdy Doody, 45 RPM records, S&H green stamps, high-fives, metal ice trays with levers, mimeograph paper, blue flash bulbs. A lot of you are shaking your head. Packards, roller skate keys, cork pop guns, drive-ins, Studemakers, and wash tub ringers. Now, if you remembered 0 to 5, then you're probably one of our kids. You're not. You're not part of this class, I'll tell you that. If you remembered 6 to 10, you're getting a little older, but I'll guarantee you you're not in this room. If you remembered 11 to 15, don't tell your age. And if you remembered somewhere between 16 and 25, then you join me. You're older than dirt. And although I might be older than dirt, those memories are some of the best of my life. Now we're going to take a quick trip back through our senior year. This is something that I did at one of our class reunions. I don't remember what. I went over to the library and went through microfiche for 2 days, looking through copies of the Spencer Reporter back in those days. So we're going to take a trip back, starting in the fall of our senior year, until we actually graduated. So, we'll start off. On August 30th, 1962, the sports page had a headline that read, Drew Demers fires 200 par for a win. Eddie Quinn's was selling dress shirts for $3.95. The number one song in the country was from Neil Sedaka. Any idea what that was? Breaking up is hard to do. On September 7th, in the Daily Reporter, there was a story on rainbow installations. Who was the worthy advisor? Rocky Marson. Tina Conan was the associate advisor. At the National Tea, that was a grocery store. Is that one right across the street?
National
Where was the
Tea.
National Tea?
That was over by the police station.
Okay, all right, over by the...
bowling alley.
You would know that, Ron. Why do you know where it is? Right across from the police station.
Hey, I'm over there in the dirt.
Well, anyway, at the National Tea, they were selling Coke for 29 cents a six-pack. And Tommy Rowe had the number one song in the country, Sheila. Then came the Clay County Fair, and with it the start of the football season. Do you remember some of these names from the Fair Board when we were seniors? We've got the Fair Board right here tonight. We're just right now at the Clay County Fair. Dave Simon. All right, Dave. Bob Peter, who's the president. Also on the board were Homer Clausen, Tom Nielsen, John Schoberman, John Lynch, the Lynch drug, Jack Edge, Bert Rossiter, I.J. DeBergston, Lloyd Mills, and Clarence Hummel. Paul Schmidt showed the grand champion steer at the field. The football team was preparing for the season opener. The starting lineup for our first game of the senior season, a lot of them are here. Jim West was at center. Dave Symington and Bill Vanderwilt at the guards. Gary Madsen and Denny Vanderbeck at tackles. Charlie Greer and Dave Schmidt at ends. Mike Thomas was the quarterback. Tim Dillman and Harold Howe at halfback. And Keith Eckhart at fullback. Unfortunately, we lost the opener 13-0. And the number one song in the country was from the Four Seasons. Sherry. Oh, please don't. The football season continued with a 12-12 tie with Sheldon. Esterville knocked us off 13-6, and then we blasted Sibley 25-0. Remember homecoming? Well, we had most of the court and the back seat of the car I was in today. Cheryl Hansen was the homecoming queen. Her court consisted of Jane Berge Lindemout and Mary Jo Wilcox and Vicki Porter. Some of the headlines that fall read, Sharon tells JFK of the strip. Fidel, stubborn but missiles are down. Hughes a winner, referring to Democratic Governor Harold Hughes. You live in Canada, settle down. And gets reelected, referring to Republican Senator Burt Hickenlooper. On November 30th, the reporter was a picture of three junior Miss finalists, Patty Kenninger, Cheryl Hansen, and Mary Hamauer. As fall moved to winter, we gave up the football pads forever and headed for the basketball floor. As is where Coach Wentworth thinks. The headlines on the sports page read, Tiger Cliff Braves in 2 overtimes. Terry Schwartz had 25 points. Was he that good? Tigers outflank General 62-44, and Tornadoes twist Tigers' tail 61-50. On the front page, the headline read, 22 below and it'll get colder. It is Spencer. Yeah, if you went to the grocery store, you could buy a bottle of ketchup for 19 cents. As 1962 drew to a close, and with it the first half of our senior year, Billboard magazine said the number one song in the country for the entire year was from Ray Charles. It stayed number one for 5 weeks and was on the charts for 18 weeks. Any guesses? I Can't Stop Loving You. 1963 was here, and with that became a trend that was starting. The smaller schools were talking merger. In January, Greenville Rossi and Royal started talking merger. We didn't have a girls basketball team yet, but Everly did, and Peg Peterson scored 71 points in Everly Rock. The Tigers beat the Braves 46-41. If you went to the grocery store, you could buy 4 rolls of toilet paper for 39 cents. The number 1 song in the country was Top Singers, Walk Right In. In February, the Y started their drive with $75,000 raised. The Asian flu spread across the U.S. Those damn Storm Lake tornadoes won again, 56-47. That was what happened there, I don't understand. Boyd Bushy was named as a new Clay County deputy sheriff. The Tigers ended the season in the bottom half of the conference with a 5-9 record. And topping the charts were the Four Seasons once again, back on top with Walk Like a Man. In March, Everly made semifinals of the Girls State Tournament, losing to Guthrie Center and then beating Southeast Warren in a consolation game for 3rd in the state. Peg Peterson was unanimous all-tournament. In March, Greenville, Rossi, and Royal announced a merger and Clay Central was formed. It was March of 1963 that the Maidrite was leveled by a natural gas explosion, killing 43-year-old Ray Maines. You could buy sirloin steak for 89 cents a pound, or a pack of Kool-Aid for 3 cents. And the number 1 song in the country was from the Chiffons, He's So Fine. In April 1963, a liquor by the drink bill was introduced in the Iowa legislature. Forrest Ebashevsky came to Spencer, and a front-page picture showed Evie with Doug Dawson, Harry Schwartz, Chuck Lipton, and John Fieselman. On April 28th, Emmitsburg won the Spencer Relays. In May, armed troops moved into Birmingham, Alabama, as the civil rights movement heated up. The liquor by the drink bill cleared the Iowa Senate. In May, they had a bid opening for a new high school. And you could buy a pair of Ivy League pants at Eddie Quinn's for $4.95. The number 1 song in the country was Jimmy Souls, If You Want to Be Happy. May was a whirlwind month. We had the junior senior prom. We had the senior class picnic on May 26th. The pictures of all the seniors appeared in the paper. The undergraduates were Linda Laut, Vicki Maiden, Andrea Barstead, Mike Thomas, Alan Crow, Dick Coombs, Donna Deercup, Bob Lidman, Rick Wyatt, Judy Jones, Diane Appleby, Ron Wood, Heidi Keir, Robert Marson, and Mary Lauer. Jim, I didn't hear either of our names, so I'm smart kids. I must have. On Wednesday, May 29th, we graduated with Donna Deercup as valedictorian and Ron Wood as salutatorian. We were the graduates of 1963, and the number 1 song for the entire year topped the charts for 5 weeks, stayed on the charts for 15 weeks, from Jimmy Gilmer and the Fireballs, Sugar Shack. And that's the way it was, September 1962 to May of 1963. You might have seen all this if you went through your yearbook. Just real quickly, our senior favorites: most talented, Patty Kenninger and Dick Coombs; most studious, Donna Deercup and Dick Coombs; most likely to succeed, Heidi Keir and Rick Wyatt; most school spirit, Jeanette Hughes and Mike Thomas; most friendly, Vicki Porter and Bill Gala; and best all around, Cheryl Hansen and Mike Thomas. Jim. Senior class night program, Mike Thomas gave the welcome. Jim Metcalf presented the class key to John Fieselman. I read the class history. The class flower was the white chrysanthemum. The class motto, what we are to be, we are becoming. Class colors, lavender and white. The class will was read by Dale Norton, and the class prophecy by Bill Gala. That was at the Eagles on May 18th of 1963. We have just a couple of trivia questions we're going to ask you, and then we're going to do something that hasn't, you're going to hear something that you haven't heard for 50 years. Questions. We have to quiz them. All right. Who was our 10th grade English teacher?
10th grade English teacher.
Come on. That's right, Jay Gould. When we were in 8th grade, all of our lockers were on which floors? Who said 4th? 4 floors. We were on the top one. Who had some? What was it? You still can't read. What was the name of our junior class play which starred Millicent Page as Abby? Not here. The late Christopher Bean. Who was president of our freshman class? He's here. He's here. Kenny Anderson.
I knew I remember that.
Did you remember you were president of the freshman class? Who taught English 12? Who taught English 12? Right, that's right. Which classmate was president of the Thespian Society our senior year? Thank you very much. Thank you for the award for that. Who was president of the FFA our senior year? No, Dave Simon. Right the first time. Don't try and don't change that. Our senior class play featured such characters as Lady Sneerwell, Benjamin, Backbite, Harry Bumper, and Snake. What was the title of the play? Yes, that's right. School for Scandal. This is the easy one. Who was the homecoming queen our senior year? Should have been, because she rode in the car with me today. Who was our senior class president? Jim Metcalf. All right. I think most of you passed the test. A few of you didn't. One more thing on how we survived, and then you're going to hear something that you haven't heard for 50 years. We were trying to figure out in the 50s and 60s how we did survive because we had no childproof lids on medicine bottles or doors or cabinets. We rode our bikes. We didn't have any helmets, not to mention the risks we took hitchhiking. As infants and children, we would ride in cars with no car seats, booster seats, seat belts, or airbags. Riding in the back of a pickup on a warm day was always a special treat. We drank water from the garden hose, not from a bottle. We shared one soft drink with 4 friends, one bottle, and nobody actually died from this. We ate cupcakes, white bread, real butter, and we drank Kool-Aid with sugar. But we weren't overweight because we were always outside playing. We would leave home in the morning, play all day. As long as we were back when the street lights came on, we were okay. And nobody was able to reach us all day, and we were still okay. We didn't have PlayStations, Nintendos, Xboxes, no video games at all. We didn't have 150 channels on cable, no video movies or DVDs, no surround sound or CDs, no cell phones, no personal computers, no internet, no chat rooms. We had friends. And we went outside and we found them. And we played outside. So that's how we managed to survive. The last time this happened was actually over 50 years ago tonight. In May of 1963, when Dale Norton read the class will and prophecy. And we have been looking for it ever since then. Every time we have a reunion, we try and find the class will and nobody. And guess what? Connie Norton came to last night and she said, I think I may have that. I think Dale had it. And she found it this morning. And Jim Metcalf is here to read the class will and prophecy from 1963.
know all men by these presents that we, the class of 1963 in Spencer, Clay County, Iowa, being of sound and disposing mind and memory. It's all boilerplate, and I'll get through it. Do hereby make publish, we bequeath to the class of 1964 the right, privilege, and honor of attending the classes of the fine staff of our senior teachers who have given their undivided attention and help to all of us. There's some other salient parts I'm going to leave out. Where did Rich go? There are some special bequests. Am I okay? Jeanette left. Jeanette?
I'm here.
I wanted you to hear this. The first one is Jeanette Hughes would like to leave her red hair to anyone who's brave enough to wear it. Here you go. All right.
You're on a roll.
Jerry Johansson would leave his convertible car truck to Mike Arnold. Dale Norton would like to leave his 1938 Dodge Dart truck to Harold Howe. It's sure to start better and run smoother than his present mode of transportation. Gary Schwartz would leave his Mr. Potential title to Jim Zimmerman. Mike Thomas leaves his little black book to Doug Dawson. He feels that Doug would use this one-of-a-kind item to its best end, and along with this goes the quotation, "Happy hunting." Kenny Anderson would like to leave his trail of broken clubs and his hole-in-one in a garbage can to Stroker Cause. Bill Gallo leaves his winter trail to the lakes to a guy named Ivan. Don Beckwith leaves with pleasure his 12 o'clock curfew to Tim Dillon. Don Beckwith. Am I slurring again? Sandy Clayton would like to leave her makeup and putty knife to Joan Manning. Going down the list, Kuhn would like to leave his traveling class ring to any girl that thinks she can hang on to it. I had to think about it too. Cheryl Hansen leaves her crown minus one pearl to the homecoming queen of 1964, who was Helen McLean. Rick Wyatt and Dick Coons leave their trick problems to John Fieselman and Charlie Greer. Heidi Keir would like to leave Sandy Clayton. Randy Matt would like to leave his, no, he wouldn't, he's too chintzy. And Jim Metcalf leaves for South Dakota. Symington would just like to leave. Ann Snell leaves for Minnesota. Robin Larson leaves her chalk shoestrings to Marty. Diener leaves her Andy Williams albums to the Andy Williams fan club. Mary Jo Wilcox leaves her map to Everly, to Harold Howe and Larry Geisinger. Susie Sweezy leaves her sunglasses to anyone who needs them, probably Denny Horrigan. Dutch leaves his blonde wig to Denny Seard. And Cindy Thompson leaves her kiss to a winner in the 1964 Spencer Relays, probably to Dawson again. And then the last one that Connie wrote, this is in Dale's handwriting, Speed Norton leaves his driving record that Steely left him to Connie Cooker. That's our last will and testament.
That's the first time you have heard that in 50 years. Probably the last time you hear it. All right, one last thing, and I'm going to have Jeanette come up here when I'm done. But the last thing, and this is kind of an only but a goodie, but it's Dr. Seuss's feeling about aging. I cannot see, I cannot pee, I cannot chew, I cannot screw. Oh my God, what can I do? My memory shrinks, my hearing stinks, my sense of smell, I look like hell. My mood is bad, can you tell? My body's drooping, having trouble pooping. The golden years have come at last, and the golden years can kiss my ass.
My name is Jeanette, and I'm an alcoholic. Wrong meeting, sorry. I was just asked to say a few words about our reunion book, because regrettably, some of the bios and pictures have been omitted. We feel terrible about this. Every one of you that had been omitted did what you were supposed to do. You sent your information. You sent it to the right place. You sent it at the right time. Some of you sent it months ago. But we had some unfortunate circumstances that caused some of those to be forwarded to Barbara and me. We did not receive all of them, so they did not all get in the book. And our biggest regret is that any of you would have any kind of disappointment about your reunion here. We understand you're being disappointed, and we don't blame you. We all would be. We feel terrible about it. So, what we'd like you to do, if your name was omitted, would you please let Barbara know if you have not already done so? And would you please, we hate to ask you to do this, but would you please forward that information directly to Barbara this time? And she's going to be good enough to type it up and print it, and she will mail copies to everyone who purchased the book. You can take the slide thing, whatever the word you use for that. You can take that off, insert the new pages into your book, and put the pages back in there. But gentlemen, please listen. You will need tools. Tools are required. There are no instructions, but you will need tools. You will need a screwdriver to pry apart the slide. You will need a hammer. Once you get that the little corner started, you have to tap it down with the hammer. And we have witnesses to this, don't we, Barbara? We had people at the house that took quite a project to get these things put together. So you can either fold up the paper and put it in there, or you can disassemble the booklet and reassemble it with the right tools. Anyway, so now, and if you did not send anything in the first time around and you would like to have your name included this time, please go ahead and let Barbara know. That should be more than happy. I'd love to volunteer Barbara. She doesn't do quite enough. And she'll be happy to include that, so you have that as a chance. But please believe me, we did everything to prevent this from happening. We feel terrible about it. We've already taken steps to make sure it doesn't happen again. So please enjoy your books, get your names in if you aren't in the book, and we'll take care of it for you. And because of the weather forecast that we have here tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and just cancel the Queen Cruise. Of course, you can go if you want to on your own, and we won't be going to the Barefoot Bar. They have no indoor facilities, and I don't think any of us want to sit on the beach and drink in the rain. We used to do that 50 years ago, but anymore, let's just go home.
Thanks, Jeanette. One more thing, Dave Simonton, could you come up? We do have, Dave has some thoughts he'd like to talk to you about our next reunion.
Yeah, some of us just talking, we thought it might be interesting that in 2017 will be the 100th birthday of the Clay County Fair. So instead of having a Flag Fest weekend, we were wondering if you would want to have the 54th instead of 55th, but have it during the Clay County Fair. Now, if you choose to do that, I think we could, whatever the entertainment is, if you let us know early enough, we could get a block of seats so we could all get together and sit in the grandstand, and maybe we just pick one night and we could get together out at the fairgrounds and do something. So think about it, and I don't know. Maybe those that are here, just raise your hands if you'd like to do it. Okay, have you done that? Okay, so we'll turn it over to the committee and they can proceed with it. But we'll proceed with that and see what we can come up with. So, okay, thank you.
Do you know anybody on the fair board or anything that might be able to help us with a little bit of that? You think you can work on that? Between now and the 27th? Okay. That's all right. You have to still be placed on the fair board. We're not going to. Oh, I was certain sure.
I do this. I'm not Bangkok. Thank you. You guys look really wonderful. You know, you're older than I am, so it's nice that you look as well as you do. My name is Joanne Deercup Shar, and I took the invitation that was on the website, on the My Family. I took it seriously. There were several other people that were going to take it seriously, but alas, they found something better to do. So, but I'm here to tell you that I'm so glad to see some of the people that I didn't see the last time you were all together, because I crashed that one too. And to say that Donna regrets not being here. We're getting ready to go to Denmark and Sweden to do some family history. And her son just got his PhD. He was hooded on Tuesday, so they had time to do graduation stuff in Boston. But you all look great, and this is my hello from Donna. Hi, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we want everybody just to stay around and mingle. We want to thank Mr. Mulder, Mr. Wendland for being here tonight. Great to have you back with us. And we thank all of you for coming, and be sure to email or text or leave your thoughts about the next reunion so that the committee can go to work on that. But you certainly got one. Well, Dean, you get started on it right now. Yeah. Greg will feed on it. So thank you all for coming. It's great to see everybody again, and please stay around. The bar remains open. The food is warm. Do we have a time limit here? As long as we're paying, as long as we're buying drinks. Yes. Until the bar closes. All right. Thanks, everybody.